stress is a big component of this. I think there's more awareness and attention on it right now. And I always say COVID just put a little icing on the cake. If we all thought we were stressed to the max and then COVID hit, we all had a different level of what max was, right? So I think we went through this acute phase, and we'll talk about that with the stress, but stress is 80% of chronic conditions are rooted around that one word. Because if mental, physical stress on the body, emotional stress on the body, fight or flight, right? When we're running from the tiger, our bodies just weren't used to running from the tiger constantly. There's a slew of chemical and physiochemical principles and reactions that happen in the body. There's up to 1,400 of them, I think, that happens when you're stressed. And so chronic stress wreaks havoc on the body. And we'll talk about those imbalances. So I think there's an awareness piece now, and everybody understands that stress causes some imbalance in their system. And it's not just emotional stress, it's how we handle that stress. So I've been a disciple of that word. Some people will say trauma now instead of the word stress, because I think we're understanding like all these programming that's happened in our childhood and things like that carries with us, which is why I've gone very densely into energy medicine and consciousness medicine, because that word stress has been the root cause of a lot of things that have happened to me over time, and also a lot of other people. And I think it's when we look at the buckets of well-being, emotional and well-being is one of the ones that I think people or medicine, current medicine, westernized medicine, modern medicine doesn't really have a big handle on, right? You can't go to the doctor and say, I'm stressed. And then he puts a code in there and says, well, here's the pill for stress, right? If everyone had that, we'd be great. So I think we all fundamentally understand that stress is the root cause, and it scientifically is. So why not get to the root cause, which is how do we handle and manage that stuff? So those cascading events that happen, like blood sugar dysregulation, fat around the belly, foggy brain, you could name all the symptoms of stress. And what happens, people go to what's like foggy brain. How do I fix it? Well, or I'm not sleeping well. Well, I always ask how their stress is, because that's the biggest piece. Longevity, or what I say, living better longer, is also on, you think of the continuum of science and the continuum of technology. Well, technology and science has gotten exponential to this point where we are living longer, but medications, like we said before, are not the answer to that. Those mask symptoms, they don't make us live longer. In fact, a lot of them make us live less longer. If you look at the side effect profile of many medications, death is in one of them. Okay. So medications don't solve the problem of longevity. It's lifestyle. Think about it. Blue zones, people where they live more often than outside of blue zones, people live to their hundreds, centenarians. What they've studied these places like Okinawa, Japan. What do these people do that allows them to live to 100? Do they take medications? No, they have all those lifestyle modifiers under control. They got their diet nailed down, their sleep, they're not stressed, they have great relationships, they have communal things. And so all of the blue zones have something slightly a little different, but there's some commonalities and some theory that's been studied now. And so it all has to do back again with lifestyle. With science, though, this is why I love bridging. That's ancient wisdom, right? Why are these places, why have they lived till 100 more often than not with people? Well, science is catching up to ancient wisdom, and I love blending the two together. I think that's my zone of genius, is science now says, well, what are the things that we can do, biohacking, supplements, epigenetics, how our genes interact with our environment. All those things are scientifically based stuff that allow us to get a hyper personalized approach to medicine that's going to really move people towards living longer, better, quicker. And I think that's the blend here, is really looking at what's happened. What have we done in the past that's really worked? A lot of ancient wisdom in medicine, like plant medicines and things like that. And then you're looking at, well, what's science do? Our genetic DNA profile has been completely mapped. We can do a test now on all of the wellness things, lifestyle and supplements based on our genes. So I love blending those two together because that's a super nice sweet spot.